May Allah's curse be on Jews, for they build the places of worship at the graves of their prophet.
Mention. My friend wants to speak with you.
My name is Mehran. I'm a historian. I can answer all your questions, whatever questions
Better
you have.
than me.
Okay.
You asked about 48.
Yeah, I'll talk to you. Let me finish with him. Because he proposed something. He wants people to live together.
Yeah.
So I am asking you, how can you live with someone who simply states, actually, may Allah curse be on them, may Allah destroy them. Every tree, so Day of Judgment is not going to come until every Jew is being killed, even the Jews who are hiding behind of the trees. Tree is going to say, oh Muslim, come and kill, there is Jew hiding behind me.
It's not going to happen.
But you are saying there should be way for them to live together.
Absolutely.
I am asking, how can you live with someone who doesn't see you as a human being and who is like full 24/7 your enemy? How can you live with someone like that?
I don't know, because I've never been in that situation.
Say it again.
I'm just a peaceful person. I've never been in that situation.
Are you married?
I was.
You were. How would you feel knowing that one day your wife is going to kill you? She already bought the knife, she already bought the AK-147, and she's going to kill you. Would you still feel comfortable to sleep next to her at night?
But she can't kill me because I've killed her already.
So you wouldn't feel comfortable?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't? Okay.
This is my friend Mehran.
Hello, sir. What do you think is the solution to what is the terrorist organization Hamas did?
Well, the solution for people living in peace is
They're not living
each
in
side
peace.
needs to show goodwill. You see, with violence becomes tit for tat because people don't want to lose face. Because what happens, let's say Hamas fires rockets, Israel has to respond, and then Hamas has to respond, and then Israel has to respond, and it goes like that. So instead of tit for tat, people have to be prepared to lose face and say, okay, you attacked us, despite the fact that on either side, despite the fact that you attacked us, we're going to show make a gesture of goodwill.
Okay.
We're going to make a gesture of goodwill, and then the other side will make a gesture of goodwill, and then the other side will make a gesture, and then instead of going like that towards violence, you go the reverse towards peace.
Okay.
Making gestures
Let
of
me ask you a
goodwill.
question, since you identified yourself as a historian. Okay. In 1947,
Yes.
okay, Israel wanted peace. 1957, Israel wanted peace. 1979, Israel and Egypt signed a peace agreement. 1993, Oslo peace agreement. 1994, Israel and Jordan signed a peace agreement. 2000, Israel withdrawn from the southern Lebanon. 2000, Israel Prime Minister offered to create Palestine state in all of the Gaza and almost 100% of Judea and Samaria. 2005, Israel completed the anti-terror withdrawal from the Gaza Strip, removing every single Israeli soldiers and citizens. 2008, Israel Prime Minister offered two-state solution. 2016, Prime Minister invited Hamas leader to have a discussion. 2019, Israel and Hamas peace argument. 2023, 7th of October, Hamas goes and then attacks. And all the years and dates are given to you, how Israel is offering peace. What is Hamas doing? Coming and attacking them. So, what is the term you said? Goodwill. Goodwill has been offered. Every time when the goodwill has been offered, certain people group in this occasion, that is the Hamas for today, they break that goodwill.
Okay.
So what is the next?
Okay, so you're talking things from the Israeli perspective. Let's talk things from the Palestinian perspective just for now. So from the Palestinian perspective, peace was offered in 1993 with the Oslo Accord, yet the Prime Minister who offered that peace accord, Yitzhak Rabin, was allowed to be murdered, and not only that, Arafat himself was poisoned, there was a lot of evidence, was poisoned by the Israelis. So the two peacemakers, i.e. Rabin and Arafat were poisoned and murdered by Israeli authority. So if you look at the 1993 peace accords, who is it that showed goodwill and who is it that didn't show goodwill? Because from 1993 onwards, there were Israeli settlements that were illegal under international law, illegal settlements that were in the Oslo Accord. It says no more Israeli illegal settlements. And yet, from 1993 onwards, despite both sides signing their name to that peace treaty, Israeli settlements were continued on Palestinian land. So when you talk about goodwill, first of all, both people in that peace settlement were murdered. Secondly, illegal Israeli settlements were made from 1993 onwards, stealing Palestinian land against all international law, against all treaties, Israeli settlements, to the extent that there's now up to 500,000 Israeli settlers in the West Bank against all international law, against all national law, against all treaties. So look at it from the Palestinian point of view as well. Now I can go back as far as
let me respond. Did you get your history degree from Oxford?
I don't have a history degree, but I've got a chemistry degree.
Because I just assume that you are bringing up the same arguments where people go to Oxford who never even bother to read any book and then bringing up the same arguments. So here's the problem. Today there is a war.
Mm-hmm.
Children are being murdered.
Yeah.
Children are being used as a human shield, and they are being murdered. Women are being raped. There are clips where people are screaming certain Arabic phrases and then chopping the breast of woman and cutting the tummy of the woman. Okay? In the 6th of October, everything was fine. 7th of October 2022, everything was fine, according to Hamas leader. Hamas leader is making lots of interviews. So what happened on the 7th of October that has been decided to, certain terrorist organization decided to do the war crime towards the people who live in the land of Israel?
First of all, there's absolutely no doubt whatsoever that what Hamas did was a war crime. I condemn it. But,
since you condemn it, let me ask you, do you think, what was Hamas' intention? Do you think Hamas, because leader of the Hamas said they've been planning this for a whole year. So they built this 100 kilometers of tunnels, okay? And then in that interview, he's been asked, so you build all those tunnels, why didn't you build anything for your civilians? Do you remember that interview?
Yes. Okay.
And what was the response to that?
May I say a few things? First of all, my last comment was in response to, you said that Israel was showing goodwill, and then you changed the post. So I was challenging you on saying that it takes two to tango. When you said Israel was showing goodwill, the facts on the ground was that
facts in the history is different.
Please. When you showed that, for example, in 1993, Israel was showing goodwill, I pointed out to you that both leaders were murdered by Israelis, by the Israeli side, and they made illegal settlements since 1993 against all international law. So that was a response to your question.
Okay, I'm expressing that's not historical.
Yes, and then you moved the goalpost to what happened. And I said, I condemn Hamas, but I also condemn the random Israeli bombing that's going on, that's killed thousands upon thousands of people, most of them children. Half the population of Gaza are under 18. 51% are under 18. So by definition, when they've killed 8,000, 9,000 people, 51% of those people are under 8. They're children. So 4,000, 5,000 are children. So yes, I condemn the Hamas attack, but I also condemn the heavy-handed Israeli attack even more, because the numbers are much greater. So I condemn both sides.
Okay, so first of all, if one side is dying more, have more numbers of the death, that doesn't make something wrong. You should know that.
Yes,
so I'll ask you a basic question. In your house, okay, let's assume you've got family. I don't know if you have family or not. If you have family, and in your house, okay, you want to protect your family.
Yes.
So that because of that you've got house and then you've got walls in it. Okay? What are the practical things you will do to protect your people?
Okay, that's a very good question. Now, before the Hamas attack, there was lots and lots of security, which made it impossible for Hamas to attack the Israeli settlements. If you, for example, listen to Colonel McGregor, who's one of the top experts on this subject, he went there about 3 years.
People who learn the things from Wikipedia.
Please, it's not Wikipedia.
It's Wikipedia.
No, I've seen.
It's Wikipedia. You continue.
Okay. So it would have been almost impossible. It would have been almost impossible for Hamas to attack Israel. Something happened that meant that Israeli soldiers withdrew from that area, that allowed the Hamas to attack. You have to ask yourself, because it's extremely suspicious. The Prime Minister, Netanyahu, if he's removed from power, which is likely to because of what he did against the Supreme Court, the Israelis were dead against it, and he was about to be removed from Prime Ministership, and he would have gone to jail. He would have gone to jail for a very long time for his various crimes. Now, think about this, think about it. This man who's about to go to jail, somehow it is allowed that the Israeli forces are withdrawn from the area between Hamas and the Israeli settlements, allowing the Hamas killers to go there and commit these massacres. Because whenever something like this happens, the population, normally 90%, 95% goes behind the leader, whoever the leader is. Whoever the leader is. We saw that with Bush in 9/11. Bush was extremely unpopular. As soon as 9/11 happened, he was extremely popular. We saw that with the Falkland Islands. The Argentina junta was extremely unpopular. As soon as they attacked the Falklands, they became extremely popular. But look at how suspicious this whole thing is. It doesn't justify what Hamas did. Hamas was extremely murderous in what they did. But you have to ask yourself, did they allow this thing to happen in order
Let me respond.
Yes.
Let me respond. So here's the problem. Hamas did because, but. When someone puts that but phrase in their thing when they condemn Hamas, actually they're not condemning Hamas. That's the first thing. And stating, well, Hamas was inviting them to come and kill. That is a problem itself. So Hamas leader himself expressed on the national TV, this is something they've been planning for a whole year.
Yes.
When they built those tunnels, they didn't think their citizens were important. They built those tunnels knowing that they are going to come after us. Why? Because throughout history, it's the same thing happened. Every time we attacked them, they came after us. Every time we attacked them, they came after us. Therefore they did it. It wasn't, Israel invited them somehow so that the Prime Minister of Israel becomes a popular. That is actually very disturbing things I'm hearing from you. And I haven't finished yet. 21st century at Speaker's Corner, you are simply justifying by saying, political leaders are putting their citizens in the front line. It is the same thing. While Muslims decide plans, they are going to get those planes and then go into the building, kill 3,000 people. Why? America arranged it. It is the same mindset. It is wrong mindset, and that is very dangerous mindset. So Hamas leader expressed, this is nothing to do with who is the president, who is the political. It's expressed, it is about the Jews. It expressed, actually, from river to sea, we are going to free Palestine. It wasn't about, they arranged us, they invited so that Prime Minister of them can become popular. Okay. I hope you are not taking part in the pro-Palestine demonstrations or hate marches with thinking that. That's very dangerous.
Can I respond? First of all, I said to you, I condemn Hamas for what they did. I don't know if you speak English or if you're people who like.
And then you put the but sentence, but into your sentence.
The but is here.
Yeah.
If you allow a murderous thing to happen, even if you haven't committed that murderous thing to happen, if you allow that murderous thing to happen, it says something about your mindset. It says something about your plans. It says something about what your soul is, what your spirit is. If this guy Netanyahu, if this is true, I don't know if it's true, but it sounds likely that it's true, because he withdrew, because Israelis had extremely firm defenses between the Hamas area and the Israeli settlements. For some reason, those were withdrawn. You have to ask why they were withdrawn, how they were withdrawn, at what point they were withdrawn, and who ordered them to be withdrawn. In the same way that when President Kennedy was assassinated, his bodyguard, who should have been behind the car, his bodyguard was waved away. If you see the video, they waved away his bodyguards. All the cars behind President Kennedy had 2 bodyguards that would block any shooters. But the bodyguard behind Kennedy's car was waved away. And the fact that the car went at 7 miles an hour and went into a junction where there were four possible avenues where he could have been shot. So you have to say who was complicit. There's a degree of complicity. I just explained to you, I condemn Hamas, but you have to also ask, why did they allow it to happen? Why did they allow it? And if they allowed it to happen, are they complicit in some way?
Okay, let me respond. So that means we all understand America allowed 9/11 to happen.
Yes, that's true as well.
Yeah, America allowed 9/11 to happen according to him. We all understand that when jihadis killed teachers, France allowed that to happen. We all understand that when jihadis killed former soldiers in Britain, British government is allowed that to do. So that's all in the same mindset. That's all in the same mindset. Here's the problem, though.
These are different debates.
Here's the problem, though. Wouldn't you think? I'm grateful that you are watching too much TikTok and getting those historical informations from TikTok. And wouldn't you think, while Hamas is already screaming out and telling the world, well, we are the victims, Muslims has been bullied, Muslims are the victims for last 75 years. Wouldn't you say Hamas would use this opportunity to expose Israel? But Hamas is saying, no, this is not about the land, this is about the Jews. Why? Because there is a hadith states in many versions that Day of Judgment is not going to come until Muslims kills all the Jews, even the Jews hide behind the trees and the rocks. Tree is gonna come and then say, oh Muslim, there is a Jew hiding behind me, come and kill him. Why Hamas is not talking about Israel, but Hamas is using Islamic sources to justify its action?
Okay. Like I said before, I don't know how many times I have to repeat myself. I condemn what Hamas did. I condemn it, absolutely condemn it. There was no justification whatsoever. I don't know how many times you want me to say this. However,
I want you to say that with however or without however and without but.
No, I'm trying to say, okay, I won't use the word however. You have to understand.
Once you put that verse, so you know the phrase when woman is being raped,
yes.
And then they ask the woman, oh, I'm sorry you've been raped, but what you were wearing.
Okay,
so
I won't use the word however. I won't use the word.
Or the word.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Can you just now answer my question?
Yes, I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand it with human beings react with emotion rather than reason, generally speaking. React with emotion. Let's say yourself, if some group did horrific things to your family, you would be so angry, you want not just all that group, anybody associated with them to be chopped up. Because of your emotion, of your rage, of your emotion and your rage.
Actually, I can't do that.
Because as human beings, generally speaking...
Let me respond to that.
Can I just continue?
Okay, I want to respond to that.
As a general thing, human beings respect with... they respond... Human beings, they respond with rage rather than reason. Now, it doesn't justify what they do. It's just a human condition. The human condition is somehow that human beings respond with rage. So, because of the human condition, they respond with an assault, with another assault, because A, they want to respond with rage, and B, they don't want to lose face. They don't want to lose face. So in the same way that they don't want to lose face, want to lose face, if you do something nice for human beings, they want to respond with niceness and kindness. What I'm trying to say is we have to break the cycle of violence, tit-for-tat violence. Tit-for-tat violence and not losing face. One side or the other has to be prepared to lose face, and instead of going for tit-for-tat violence, they say, okay, I'm going to make this gesture. And then the other side hopefully will make a gesture. And then the other side will make a gesture. This is the answer to peace, not tit-for-tat violence. So, for example, Israel could say, we've got 4,000, 5,000 Palestinians, most of them children, under 18, not in our dungeons. They haven't been put in front of a court, they haven't been condemned, but they're inside there for years and years and years. They say, right, we're going to release them. you've got some of our people, and then Hamas will respond and say, okay, we'll respond to we'll respond. And then Israel will say, okay, we've got 500,000 settlers in the West Bank. Instead of continuing the settlements, we're going to stop those settlements. And then Hamas will say, that's a nice gesture. We're going to do something for you. And then Israel will say, well, that's very nice of you. I know you've got terrible problems in the Gaza. We're going to switch back your water. We're going to switch back your electricity. We're going to let you lose the internet. We're going to let ships come into Gaza to help you rebuild Gaza. And then they would say, oh, that's very nice of you. We're going to do this for you. That's the answer to peace.
Let me respond.
Now we can go backwards and forwards condemning. That's not going to solve anything.
Let me respond. Sorry, he's making money from my blood. I don't want to be recorded on his camera. So once he goes, I'll continue with you.
So I just
Sir, I want to respond to you. I'm just waiting him to walk away because he's making money from my blood as well as he's making money from the blood of Palestinians.
I don't know if she doesn't want to. But can I continue to...
I'm going to respond to you. I'm just waiting for him to walk away.
She doesn't want to be filmed by you. I'm sorry. Yes, please respond.
Sorry, it is difficult to talk to someone who is making money from your blood.
I want to talk about solutions.
So, I know it's freaky. It's
I'm
okay.
worried.
It's okay.
I'm suspicious. You see, well, I want to talk about solutions. We can talk about condemn. We won't get anywhere. We want to have solutions.
Explain it to me.
Yes.
Explain it to me. So you are offering, I'm going to give you something nice. I'm going to open the door for you.
Yes.
So you open the door for me.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you something nice.
Yes.
Return you do that to me. So, first of all, Hamas expressed in their interviews, I watch quite a lot of them. Hamas expressed in their interviews, it is not about being, you be nice to me a little bit or I'll be nice to you a little bit. It is not about that. Hamas expressed, it is about the belief you have because of the teachings we hold. Okay, that's what Hamas expressed. So, how can you expect someone to go to bed with their enemies? I was just talking to your friend previously. So, throughout decades, examples has been seen, like Hamas itself says, like, we smiled on their face, we told them we are doing good works, we are developing this country. So, like, did you not see this awesome hotel, tourism center they built it?
Yes.
So we are giving the image that we are building this, but behind the doors, we are digging these tunnels to attack them.
Yes.
So how can you go to bed with someone, or how can you have even good faith, goodwill in someone who is 24/7 trained to kill you? That's first point. Second point is children. You've got children who are only 7 years old, and shouting that they want to kill the Jews. They want to be martyred and they want to kill the Jews. At age 7, they've been trained, they've been doctrined to hate people because of their belief. So how can you go to bed with someone like that?
That's a very good question. And okay, you see, again, everything has got two sides. Yes, even if you make an omelette, no matter how thick the omelette is, it has two sides. It has one side. This you flip it, it has another side. Yes, the other side is this. You have to understand. You talk about the hatred that the Palestinians express to you. You have to ask the question.
Not the Palestinians. I'm talking about the teachings of Islam
Hamas.
here.
Okay,
teachings of Islam.
Okay.
Hamas is democratically elected leaders in Gaza area.
Okay.
So they are democratically elected.
Yes, but the flip
They are
side
terrorists,
of that
but they are
is, where
democratically
does that
elected.
hatred come from? The hatred comes from the fact that their land was taken away from them by the Israelis.
Okay, but
There was-
why that's not what they are saying? You are saying something they disagree with you.
Yes.
Hamas leader said it's not about the land.
Okay.
It's
Because-
about their faith.
Yes. I'm
That's
trying
what
to
Hamas
say to you,
leaders
madam,
said.
there's 2 billion Muslims in the world, yes? 2 billion Muslims in the world. Those 2 billion Muslims in the world are not interested in eradicating Israel. Hamas is interested in eradicating Israel because they believe you
Jews.
stole the Jews, because they believe you've stolen their land and you're treating them like a concentration camp.
Okay, that's
They
false.
describe-
That is false by Hamas and anyone who makes that claim. That land was belonged to the Jews, Christians, and Arabs even before time of Muhammad. Okay? Bedouins were living there. What Umar did, Umar went and conquered that. They were quite happy under the Ottomans. They were not asking, oh, give us our state. They were not asking that. So Hamas leader is not saying what you are saying. That's why I am disturbed. Hamas leader is saying this is not about the land. This is about getting rid of the Jews. And then Hamas leader gives us the Sahih Bukhari Hadith or Sahih Muslim, where it says on the day of judgment is not going to come until every Jew is being killed. They will be hiding behind the trees. And the rocks, even trees are going to say, oh Muslim, there is Jew behind me, come and kill. So Hamas leader is saying something that you are saying something Hamas leader is not saying.
Okay, can I respond to you? First of all, if you look at the map of the Gaza Strip, it was throughout, from 1947 onwards, it was a much bigger area than that now. Now it's a strip of land. The Gaza Strip was a very large area. What is left of it is tiny compared to what it was. So what you say is not true. That land was stolen from.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Can you tell whole world Turkey needs to get out in the Turkish borders and give that land back to Byzantines. Byzantines, English name, Byzantines. Can you say that to the Turkish Empire? Can you also say to Turkish Empire, get out of the North Cyprus, give that back to the Greeks?
So
can you say to the Pakistan land, get out of the Pakistan, give that land back to India?
So what you're saying is, this is what you're saying, despite the fact that it was stolen 70 years ago.
No, it wasn't stolen.
It's now too
wasn't
late.
stolen.
It's now too late to give it back.
No, I am using your logic. I am using your logic. You are saying that land was stolen, therefore they want their land. Hamas doesn't say it's about the land. That's first thing. Second thing is, you give the mic to Hamas spokesperson and then you say, tell us what you want, what you are doing. Hamas spokesperson says, we want to get rid of Jews because of the Islamic sources. And you are coming here and then you are saying, no, it's about the land. Hamas is not saying that. I am saying, if it is about the land, if you think the land is stolen, with the same logic, Turkey needs to give North Cyprus back to the Greeks. Pakistan needs to give that land back to Indians.
But this is an irrational argument.
No, it's the same argument. That's your logic. It has been stolen from them. North Cyprus is being stolen from them. It needs to be given back.
But they do say you should give it back. The Greeks have been telling the Turks since 1974, give us back. They almost went to war several times. Several times they went to war, so you're incorrect in saying they'll just let them do that. They're trying to have the land back. They almost went to war against Turkey, so you're incorrect in what you say. Secondly,
no, I am correct what I say. I'm Turkish. I know what we learned in history. Okay. That land is stolen. If the logic, you return the stolen lands, you give it back.
Madam, I'm trying to explain that the reason Hamas is so full of hate against Israel is not just what's written in the Quran. It's because they feel there's 2 billion other Muslims that are not bothered about Israel. It's the fact that their land was stolen from them, or they feel that their land was stolen.
Yeah, but that's a lie. That land was not stolen. Who was it at that land at first?
Madam, all you have to do.
It's not that land is not belong to.
Madam,
that land is not belong to Palestinian Muslims. That land is not belong to them. There were Christians. There were Jews. 11% of Christians were there. What happened to them? Palestine kicked them out. That land is not stolen. Your TikTok information or Wikipedia information or this woke left information is wrong.
If you give me 3 minutes.
That land, if it is stolen, actually, I might be stand corrected. If it was stolen, Caliph Umar stole it from the people in 641 under the Islam with the information that they are going to expel all Jews and Christians from the land of Arabia.
Okay.
That's the story.
If you give me 3 minutes, I'll explain to you what's happened. Okay. You have to go before 1940. You talked about 1947, 1948. It's true that the Arab states attacked Israel. I don't condone that. But what actually happened? You have to go back. Actually, I blame the British government and the international community. Why do I blame them? Because Palestine was under a British mandate. It was under a British. Palestine was taken away from the Turks after the First World War, and it became a British mandate. In fact, what they called it is a protectorate, as if these people are children. We are protecting them, which is a lie. It was a colony. So basically, one country gave the land of another country to a third nation, and that was approved by the United Nations. That's where the source of the problem is. It's not even the Jews' fault. So what happened was, they didn't ask the Palestinians when the Balfour Declaration came, and when the Jews were allowed to go to Palestine, they did not ask the local population if you want the newcomers or not. They didn't ask them. So hundreds of thousands of newcomers came in, and then when the newcomers came in, this is where we disagree, they actually physically expelled 700,000 Palestinians. You can read up about it. They expelled...
Not from TikTok,
They expelled even Jewish historians like Benny Goodman in his books. They say that the Palestinians, 700,000 of them were expelled from their own land. Why were they expelled? Because the Jews wanted to be a majority in the new land. They weren't interested in peace. They wanted to be, that's why they call it the Jewish state of Israel. Because if you have 500,000 Jews coming in and the majority are Palestinian or Muslim, you cannot call yourself a Jewish state. So they expelled them, madam. That's where the problem happened. They expelled them, they forcibly expelled them, and they committed horrific crimes against them, and they stole their land. They stole Gaza, they stole the other parts of Israel, they stole them, and the Palestinians became refugees all around the world. Millions of Palestinians became refugees in Egypt, in Lebanon, in Jordan, in all the Arab countries. Millions of Palestinians became refugees, and the Jews took over their land. Even if you look at the Gaza Strip, show the map of the Gaza Strip in 1947 and show the map of Gaza now.
Let me respond?
Yes.
So, first of all, that information probably came to you from Wikipedia or TikTok, and that is false. Let me respond. I listened to you. So let me respond. So, you expressed how Palestinians become refugees.
Yes.
They become refugees in Jordan. Have you wondered why Jordan doesn't want them today?
They kicked them
I'll
out.
tell you why. When they become refugees in that country, what they did, they get rid of their prime minister of Jordan. It wasn't only that, they were there to bring riots. And then same in other countries, in Kuwait, the same. Same in Lebanon, it was exactly the same thing. Today, Egypt doesn't want them. Can you imagine, Muslim world doesn't want another Muslim world. Why? Because they know, actually, there is rooted hates even in the children. Therefore, if they come here, it will exactly be the same what happened in Jordan. That's what it is. So what happens therefore? Oh, Israel doesn't deserve that land because they stole it. That's not true, as I said. There were Jews who were living there. Even before Umar got and then get rid of them. Under the Ottomans, there were Jews and Christians and Arabs and even Bedouin Arabs were living there. What happened to them? There were 11% Christians. What happened to them? Muslims kicked them out. What happened to the Jews? Muslims kicking them out. I am amazed that you are still saying it's about the stolen land. It is not about the stolen land according to the leaders. Should I listen, if he's the leader, should I listen what he says to me and then to the whole world? Or should I listen someone who lives in England and then what that person says? It is not about the land, it is about the Jews. That's the hadith. Hamas leader give us the quotation of it.
Can I respond to that?
First, you
need to answer why Arabs don't take them.
I'll explain everything. Just give me an example. First of all, the lady quite rightly says that the Palestinians are not wanted in Jordan, they're not wanted in Syria, they're not wanted in Lebanon, they're seen as troublemakers. That's quite correct. However, you have to ask yourself the primary question of why are they seen as troublemakers. The reason they're seen as troublemakers is that these populations have been traumatized. A population that becomes traumatized, they become troublemakers. If you traumatize a child, if you abuse a child, that child likelihood when that child grows up, he will become a troublemaker. So then you have to.
That's the problem. I'm going to cut you. Sir, I'm going to cut you.
I'm sorry.
I need to cut you. So therefore, we are saying because they are troublemaker, because they've been traumatized, therefore they can get away whatever crime they want to do. That is the logic.
I'm not saying that.
That is the logic. That's what happened when the Muslim immigrant raped a boy who was in the swimming pool, and then he said, well, it was urgent sex need. I couldn't control myself. And then they said, because he comes from the background where he saw the war, therefore it is okay. It is not okay. Because my father or your father beat you, that doesn't mean you go and kill people.
Madam, you're not listening.
I am listening. And I am breaking down your logic, and I am saying your logic is wrong. And that is dangerous logic. Because you come from the broken background, or because you are traumatized, that doesn't mean you are going to go and kill someone. Yes.
I never ever justified it.
You did.
Please, can I just give it 2 minutes? I never ever justified it. I never ever justified it. Even if a child is traumatized and they go on to do bad things, that child needs to be disciplined. They need to go to jail. They need to be punished. I never ever ever justified it. I just said this is what happened. This is what happened.
Why don't
they were
take
traumatized.
Them? Why Arab countries don't take them?
Because they're seen as troublemakers. They cause trouble.
But why are they not compassionate? They can provide them mental health.
You asked me a question. Can you just wait until I answer my question? In 1970, the Palestinians caused a civil war in Jordan. Right. They were expelled from Jordan.
They killed the Prime Minister of Jordan. They killed the Prime Minister.
In Jordan, they were sending rockets to Israel. Israel invaded in 1982, and they killed tens of thousands of Lebanese. The Lebanese don't want them. They don't want them. In the 70s, the PLO caused a civil war inside Lebanon. They don't want them.
So what do you suggest us to do now? If they don't want...
I explained to you that you cannot
What's
get...
the solution?
The solution, violence begets more violence. It's tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat.
So what is
endless.
your solution?
My solution is wait until there's a ceasefire, then make small gestures of goodwill on either side. Small gestures of goodwill. I'll make a small gesture of goodwill. You make a small gesture of goodwill.
But you just said they're violent, they're traumatized. They're not willing to sit down what you suggested to do.
Yes, they are. They are.
No, Hamas leader did not even say, I want to have ceasefire. Hamas leader did not say that. See, now Hamas is created by Israel. That's the new thing. So, you spoke, so I am going to respond to the things you stated. So here's the problems. Muslim countries don't want them. As we both agree, they are troublemakers. Why? Because they want to cause riots. They want to take those new lands where they've been looked after.
Why? Because of Israel?
No, it's not because of the Israel. It's not because of the Israel. That's just a lie, and that's a lie. It's interesting that...
It's actually because of the Hamas being traumatized, not from Israel.
Shall I tell you something about Hamas?
Can I just finish my thought?
Okay. So therefore, Israel is trying to do
If Israel created Hamas, then Israel has all the right as the creator of Hamas to get rid of it. So that's your logic. So here's the problem. You are saying goodwill. I'm going to say something.
I'm going to say
Hamas
is behind them.
Goodwill.
If the Hamas is staying behind the hospitals, schools, yes. So that's what is going to happen.
You're crazy.
But you're wise, yes?
Yes,
you're wise.
Yes.
And you believe in conspiracy theories.
You're saying if there's half a dozen Hamas in a hospital,
so but it's okay. Hamas goes and
you can hit a hospital and kill
missiles. It's okay, yes? Hamas from the school sends missiles to the Israelis. It's okay for you, yes?
Can I ask a question?
No, is it yes or no?
Like, can I ask you?
No, first say yes. No, first say yes.
It's not okay. It's not okay.
That's it then.
Okay,
go on.
It's not okay. But are you saying that if half a dozen Hamas are in a hospital, Israel can kill a hospital and kill 500
No,
people?
Israeli is doing with what the Hamasi is sending over. Yes, responding to what the Hamas...
You are seriously mentally disturbed. Honestly, I'm sorry. Yes, you are.
Sorry, but what medication do you take?
I don't, it's none
you
of your
sure?
business.
I can tell you what
seriously mentally disturbed.
This gentleman is a conspiracy theorist. He loves this kind of thing.
Let me respond something. You are saying I'll give you a little bit goodwill. You give me a little bit goodwill. I'll give you a little bit goodwill. You give me a little bit goodwill.
Yes.
That has been done, and on 7th of October, Hamas broke that. Hamas doesn't want ceasefire. Hamas made it clear they are willing all of their people who live in Palestine, they want them to die so they can go and get their virgins. That's what the Hamas leader expressed. They are martyrs. They are going to get the Islamic paradise with all those virgins. Islamic teaching doesn't say little bit goodwill and then more goodwill, let's take it back. Islamic teaching teaches eye for eye, tooth for tooth.
That's right.
That's what Hamas wants to do.
Pride.
That's what Hamas
It's a
is
matter of
practicing.
pride.
So,
For Hamas is a matter of pride. They have to win. That's what it is with Islam.
Okay.
They have to take over. That's what it is.
Madam, did you know that Hamas was created by Israel? Did you know
So,
that?
yes,
So you
okay,
told
we say
me-
yes. And now Israel wants to take it.
Hamas is not created by Israel. Hamas is the offshoot of Muslim Brotherhood. So
I'm
that's what it is.
Now they want
That's
to
what.
destroy
Yeah,
their
you get
creation. That's
you
all
get
right.
your history from TikTok and Wikipedia. I already noticed that. But if Hamas, sake of the argument, if Hamas is created by Israel, Creator has all the right
That's
to
right.
do what they want to do to their creation.
2 points.
I am
That's
Christian.
logical, yeah.
God is my creator. The time comes, He has all the right to take my life away from me. Hamas is, if Israel created a Hamas, Israel today has all the right to get
Okay,
rid of
let me
Hamas.
ask you this.
They can do what
Let
they
me
want to
ask you
do.
this. Let me ask you this. Of
That's
the
your
nine-
logic.
Of the nine,
That's your logic, and that's very dangerous
of the
logic.
9,000 people who were killed, how many people were Hamas? How many of them were Hamas? Of the 9,000 people that Israel has killed.
No, they got killed
How
because
many of
Hamas
them-
Let me
were
respond. Let me
abusing.
respond.
How many?
Yeah, I want to respond. I want to
Hamas was
respond.
using them
So,
as a human shield.
So Hamas is democratically elected, democratically voted.
When
So
were they
those people,
elected?
those people,
2006.
those people
2006.
voted for them. Those. Why are you not allowing me to speak now? You were
No,
crying a little bit
nobody's
earlier.
saying
So
rubbish.
I am not
They
saying
were
that.
elected in 2006. Most of the Palestinian population was not born there. Their children, they were not born in 2006.
Very basic principle. I don't want him as my president. Let's do riots and then get rid of this president. So that's the logic. So here's the thing. Hamas is the offshoot of Muslim Brotherhood. They express it in their chart what they are all about. It's very amazing. They are not saying in their chart, oh, thank you, Israel, for being my creator. That's not what they are saying. They are expressing this is about Islam versus Jews. That's what they are saying. And they are even giving you the reference. Today is simply saying, do a little bit goodwill. And then more goodwill, they will return your goodwill with goodwill. That's not the case when you are dealing with Islam. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, Islam teaches.
First of all,
What do you expect? What do you expect?
Hamas,
Not only that, a day of judgment is not going to come until every Jew is being killed by Muslims, even the ones hiding behind the trees. May Allah curse the Jews, Islam teaches. 17 days, 17 times a day. 17 times a day, Muslims are praying against Jews. 17 times a day. And now you are telling me, oh,
can I please respond?
Can I just say, and none of the Muslims in Europe who live in Europe, none of them want to go there help their Hamasi friends. None of the Muslims. Why? Why? I want to ask why no Muslim from here, Britain or Europe, you know, you have nice, cushiony life here, you know, you're living in nice flats.
respond?
Why don't you go there and help? Why? Why don't you? What is stopping you? That is the question you need to ask your Muslim friends who are going for protest here.
Respond. First of all, you say Hamas was elected. Hamas was elected in 2006. 2006. That's 17 years ago. Half the population of Gaza, half the population are 17 and below. They were not even born there. So what are you talking about? They were not elected by the people, the population now. They were elected in 2006. Even if you want to go before...
if they are not elected right now, then the question comes to why they are still supporting this terrorist organization?
They're not supporting
Why they
them.
are not begging them to get me out of here? Why
They're
they're not doing
supporting
that?
them.
They're doing
Not
that.
supporting them.
You're doing here, people who go to those pro-Palestine demonstrations, which is identified so far as hate marches, they're doing that. If the Palestine people are not supporting them, Gaza are not
They're
supporting
not
them,
supporting them.
why are you supporting them? That's the question for those who go to the
There's a large number of
demonstrations.
countries in the world where the majority of the population does not support the government. Just because those people are the government does not mean that people support them. That's an irrational statement. Secondly, Hamas was created in 1987 by Israel. If you read anything about it, if you study a little bit of history, you will understand why Hamas was created and that it was created by Israel. Hamas is the creation of Israel. Why did Israel create Hamas? They wanted to split the Palestinians into two separate groups, Fatah and Hamas. And they wanted to fight against each other rather than Israel. And you can see what happened. And in fact, there was a civil war between Fatah and Hamas. And the Israelis were successful in their deviant activities, in creating this monster. The same thing happened with Al-Qaeda. The Americans created Al-Qaeda, and then Al-Qaeda fell out with them. What can you not understand about that? Read up about how Hamas was created.
The part I don't
Hamas
understand.
was created by Israel, and then to create a civil war between the Palestinians. And now you're complaining. You're complaining about the very same thing that you created. You're complaining about the same monster that you created. You're blaming
I'm not
the
Israeli.
Palestinians.
I'm not Israeli, so be
Yes,
careful.
you are. Yes, you are.
I'm Turkish. Be careful what you say.
You don't
So
have to
let
be,
me
You don't
respond.
have to be
Let
Israeli.
me respond.
You don't have to be
Let me
Israeli
make my
to be a
conclusion.
Zionist. You don't have to be
Let me
Zionist
make
to
my
support the
conclusion.
state of Israel. You
Let me
don't
make
have to
my
be Jewish.
conclusion.
You don't have to be
Here's
Jewish.
the conclusion. If this gentleman is correct, that Hamas is being created by Israel, we all agree that Israel as a creator of Hamas has all the right to get rid of what they created. So that's what it is. So therefore, let's support Israel as they are trying to free Palestine from Hamas. Let's stand for that all together. I am Christian. I am looking from the perspective. People who live in the land of Israel, people who live in the land of Palestine, Jewish, Christians, atheists, Muslims. Christians are saved. They are united with Lord Jesus Christ. Rest needs Lord Jesus Christ. Rest needs Prince of Peace. They don't need a little bit goodwill. Oh, you give us goodwill. No, it won't work because Hamas failed to keep its promises. As I said, if Hamas is created by Israel, Israel has all the right to get rid of what they created. Let's help them to get rid of the evil of the Hamas. And thank you very much for your time, sir.
I asked the question from you. Of the 9,000 people that Israel has killed, how many were Hamas? You cannot answer that question.
Actually, I
How many?
forgot to answer. Actually, I forgot to answer
Okay,
that
what's the
question.
answer? What's the answer?
So, since Hamas was democratically elected and then took the power, since I have seen the clips where 6-year-old child was praising people who killed the Jews, where children were calling the death of Jews, I think it's not about the numbers in here. If one side is dead more, other side is dead less, that doesn't make one side is right or wrong. So it is right for Israel to get rid of the evil which is in the land of Palestine. That's what it is. And thanks for your time. You are absolutely shocked? You just told me Israel created Hamas. Why would you be shocked? I finished. I said I am making my conclusion. Stop crying, sir.
Good talk.